Good morning. Campaigners are set to lobby the Scottish Parliament today over Aberdeen City Council's funding crisis. They left the city this morning ahead of a debate on the findings of the Accounts Commission. The watchdog found the local authority had extremely serious financial and management issues. Councillors are implementing £27 million of cuts to services.
Tonight on Newsnight Scotland, much hand-wringing in Parliament about the mess that is Aberdeen City Council, but the Finance Secretary doesn't come up with any more money. We reveal the Council's own plan to deal with the crisis and ask its leader why anyone should take it seriously. And a Tory maverick and whether David Davis could be a model for making politics more interesting in Scotland too. Good evening. They're deep in debt. An Accounts Commission report has little confidence they have a clue how to deal with it. And tonight, Parliament turned the plight of Aberdeen City Council into a national affair. Protesters against cuts in services sat in the gallery as plans were outlined to bring in outside experts to deal with the situation after the Audit Commission said the council wasn't able to deal with its problems on its own. Newsnight Scotland has seen the council's own plans to deal with the crisis, but as Ken MacDonald reports, putting fine words on paper won't be the end of this.
Ultimately, politics isn't about policies, it's about people. This morning, people, lots of them, travelled from Aberdeen to Holyrood to underline that. All of Scotland's councils are having to cope with a new financial settlement this year, but the voters of Aberdeen and their dependents seem to be suffering more than most. This was just the latest in weeks of demonstrations.
I came because I care about what's happened with the council cuts to the disabled, the homeless, the isolated, the vulnerable and the lonely.
As well as all the miserable cuts that have been made to provision for pensioners such as myself. I'm concerned about what happens to the city generally.
It's basically because of the Audit Commission report. We've seen what they've had to say and they've said that basically the council aren't doing their job. So if the council aren't doing their job, who's going to take responsibility for that? It's got to be the people here.
The council's money problems go back years. One of today's pressing questions was how many years and who was in charge when it all started. 6 weeks ago, Aberdeen's chief executive appeared on this programme and took his share of responsibility.
Well, my feeling at the moment is that my responsibility is to complete the job of getting things sorted out. We took radical action when we knew that this had happened. We've tightened up all the supervisory processes. We've got a new director and a new head of service managing the process, and the Audit Scotland report was quite clear about the decisiveness of the action we took once this came to light.
A fortnight later, he announced his retiral, and the Accounts Commission issued a damning assessment of the council's affairs.
We need to see urgent action to improve the position and the fortunes of Aberdeen City Council, and I've made it clear to the City Council leadership that I'm looking to them and to the other members of the council to deliver exactly that.
Today, the Parliament considered Labour's motion telling the Lib Dem SNP Council to take urgent and concerted action to follow the Accounts Commission's recommendations.
There must be no repeat of the unplanned, uncosted and illogical cuts we have seen this year. Nor can opposition parties be asked or expected to endorse planned savings which make no sense.
An all-party group of councillors has been set up to help Aberdeen City Council recover from its financial crisis. It follows intense pressure from the Scottish Government, business leaders and the public to work together. It will implement a rescue package revealed by BBC Scotland last week.
Protesters have staged their latest demonstration against Aberdeen City Council's swinging budget cuts. Campaigners were outside the Townhouse ahead of a special council meeting into the Accounts Commission's findings and recommendations. The council's 4 party group leaders will be on a panel set up to take charge of improvement plans.